Alright mates, how's it going? In today's video, it's part 1 of chapter 14 of Tides of Darkness by Aaron Rosenberg. A little bit too much going on for me to squeeze it all into one video, unfortunately. But let's go! Alleria raced through the forest, with branches and twigs slapping against her face, but she didn't give a shit, because she was too busy thinking about how the outskirts of her homeland were on fire, about the safety of her people, and not for the first time, she was thinking about how she wished she'd never left home. Why had she decided to help the Alliance? Anasterian and the other council members were far older and wiser than she was. Maybe she should have just listened to them. But no, she thought. Anasterian had also believed that the Horde would never pose a threat to Quel'Thalas, and he'd definitely been wrong about that. But that didn't change the fact that if she had listened to him, she would have been here when the Horde arrived. And yes, maybe one ranger wouldn't have made the slightest bit of difference, but she wouldn't now feel as if she'd deserted her family and her people when they needed her most. Those thoughts spurred Alleria to even greater speed, and as she leapt over an entire bush into a clearing, she suddenly found herself staring down the tip of a hunting arrow aimed at her throat. However, Alleria would recognise that shiny silvery white hair anywhere. Farisa! Alleria! You're home! Are you alright? Where's Sylvanas? Her mother and father safe? They're fine. Sylvanas is with a hunting party near the riverbank. As for mother and father, they should be in Silvermoon by now. Alleria, where have you been? What's going on? There's fires all over, and some of the rangers haven't reported back. Alleria felt her stomach twist at that. If some of the rangers were missing, that could only mean that the Horde had penetrated deeper into the forest than she'd thought. We're being invaded, little sister. Alleria's ears then twitched, and she turned, sword in hand, just in time to impale a lunging troll that appeared out of nowhere. We need to move. Now. And so they did. Alleria was certain she could hear laughter above them. The creatures were following them, on the branches above, no doubt planning to drop down and kill them both. But Alleria knew these woods. She knew them better than anyone. So, she led the way, with her sister keeping pace behind her, and the two of them ran and twisted and turned and did flips and all sorts of things, until eventually, Alleria saw it. The river. And she knew the trolls were beginning to drop down directly behind them, desperate to reach the two elves before they could wade into the water and float away. Because trolls hate water, apparently. Nice chase, Pale One, but now you die. Alleria narrowly avoided the hand grasping at her hair from behind, but as she span around, ready to fight, the troll stiffened and fell to the ground, with an arrow sticking out of its neck. More arrows then flew overhead, striking the rest of the trolls, and Alleria looked back towards the river to see another familiar face. Welcome home, sister. Now what is this trouble you've brought us? Even from across the river, the figure radiated intensity, the kind that suggested that someday, in the future, she'd be focused on so much as a character that some people will start to get a little bit bored and annoyed by her. I did not bring it, Sylvanas. I had hoped to outrun it, but I do bring possible salvation. I must speak with the council. I don't know if they'll listen. Too busy worrying about these fires to consider much else right now. As am I. They will listen. I'll give them no choice. What is the meaning of this? Anasterian Sunstrider and the Council of Silvermoon had been discussing matters in low, serious voices, when Alleria just waltzed in unannounced. I am Alleria Windrunner. I've been beyond our borders and have been fighting alongside the humans in their war. But now I return to bring you grave tidings. Not just for them, but for us. The Horde that the humans warned us of is real and vast and powerful. The bulk of their forces are Orcs, but they have other creatures as well, including the forest trolls. That last bit got a reaction. A whole bunch of angry murmurs and mews. Trolls, you say? Let those foul creatures follow the Horde. Maybe these Orcs you speak of will do us a favour and take them all far away from here. You don't understand. The Horde is not some distant threat anymore. The trolls have entered our forests. Already they stalk through our lands and are killing our people. Here, impossible. In answer, Alleria swung an object towards the Elven King. A severed troll's head. That one attacked me and my sister, not an hour's run from the river crossing. Several more followed us there. Their bodies still lie on the bank unless Sylvanas and her party have moved them. They're here, within our woods, killing our people, and the Orcs are the ones burning the edges of the forest. Outrageous! However, this time, the king's outburst was not directed at Alleria. He had a little strop and kicked the troll's head away, and you could see in his eyes that he was absolutely fuming. They dare to invade our home? Gather our warriors. Summon the rangers. We'll drive them from our forest so sternly that they'll never dare encroach again. Alleria was pleased to see her king acting so determined, but still, she shook her head anyway. The horde is numerous beyond belief. The orcs are strong and powerful. Fortunately, I did not come alone. Meanwhile, Duralian, who had just finished killing a whole bunch of orcs, took a second to peer up at the dark, thick clouds that hung above. The rain showed no sign of letting up, but that was a good thing, because the fires were out. Khadgar had absolutely outdone himself summoning this storm. Literally. Poor bastard was absolutely exhausted now. Duralian then turned to face a new pair of orcs on his left flank, but they immediately keeled over, and Alleria appeared from behind them. I see I got here just in time. What exactly do you do when I'm not around to save you? I manage. Did you find them? I did. And they've agreed. The warriors and rangers are mobilizing. They can be here in 10 minutes, if here is where you want them. Here's as good a place as any. I'll run back and inform them. You just hold fast until they arrive. Please. We will hold. Don't worry. Another meanwhile, deep in the forest, a particular subordinate of Zul'jin's, Turlage, peered through the foliage and grinned. He'd caught sight of his prey. The elf was moving pretty quickly for one of its kind, but Turlage dropped down and ambushed the bugger. However, the elf didn't look scared. It looked pleased. Did you think I could not hear you rustling about above? You're not welcome here, creature, and you will not be suffered to live. Very clever. But Turlage ain't scared of one little elf with one little stick. Now Turlage was a seasoned hunter and warrior. He wasn't scared. This was going to be easy peasy. So he raised himself up to his full height, leapt forward towards his foe, and died mid-air, impaled on a spear. Rest in peace, Turlage. Hold her on. Nice one. I've spoken with the Alliance commander, and with Sylvanas as well. She needs all our forces along the southwest edge of the forest. Alright. Orthamar and his men are nearby. I'll let them know. Are you well, Alleria? You seem flushed. I'm fine. Go. And a third, meanwhile, back with Turalian. Bloody hell, you were only gone a few minutes. Well, I'm back now. They're on their way. Turalian felt a surge of relief. Not entirely sure whether it was at the thought of reinforcements or the fact that Alleria was safe, but whatevs. However, that slight feeling of elation was immediately interrupted as Turalian noticed a dark shape looming up and getting bigger and bigger. What are you staring at? That. And we're leaving it there. Chapter 14 is like 32 pages long, which is almost 10% of the entire book. But that seemed like a decent enough cliffhanger to leave it on for this episode. I may have to split a few more chapters too, because the remaining chapters are all quite long, to be honest. As usual, links in the description for the book, my Patreon page, my Discord, all of that stuff. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. And all that's left to say is, thanks for watching, and see ya!